What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So only a handful of players from USC ended up getting drafted over this last week or weekend, if you could count Thursday part of the weekend. But yes, over those 3 days, and that second day, nobody went on night one, but the second night, a couple guys went. In round three, pick number 97, the Houston Texans selected defensive back Jalen Smith out of USC. Then in round four, the next day on Saturday, the Houston Texans, the same team, at pick 116, selected running back Woody Marks. That's pretty cool. They're joining Kalen Bullock out there. And then the offensive lineman slash center, Jonah Monheim of USC, was selected in round 7, pick 221 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see at least 3 guys that get selected. I thought maybe a couple more, maybe like a Gavin Meyer, Jamil Muhammad, even Eddie Czaplicki. He won the Ray Guy Award for the best punter of last year and won it a couple years ago too, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, those guys did end up somewhere else after the draft, but would have been a little bit nicer to see them selected. But speaking of those guys, yes, Jamil Muhammad, the defensive end, signed with the LA Rams, so he's sticking around in California. Then Jacoby Covington, the defensive back, signed with the Kansas City Chiefs, sadly. And then Eddie Czaplicki as well, the punter, signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, yeah, once again, a couple of undrafted guys going there. I think Christian Roland Wallace went to Kansas City last offseason, so I think he's still on the team, so maybe they're trying to build a USC pipeline out there, which is pretty cool, but just sucks that a lot of my guys have to play against my team and the Chargers twice a season. But we'll see how they do. If they make the team, and then we'll see where they end up after that, if they end up getting cut and all that stuff. But I think a lot of those guys, especially even other guys from USC that still have not signed yet, will get on rosters, in my opinion. So looking forward to seeing where all those other guys land. And then USC football did get some big news in the transfer portal today, getting a Utah wide receiver in Zacharias Williams. And I remember this guy coming out of Sarah High School in Gardena last year, and I was like, man, this guy would be a great hidden gem 3-star type of receiver, especially a local guy. But yes, he ended up choosing Utah in the end, and he did okay in his first year as a freshman and all that stuff, but then for some reason decided to transfer back, and luckily he chose USC this time around. And I think he's a great depth piece to add. I don't expect him to break out and be like their second or third best receiver, but within a season or two, for him to be in competition with those guys, to be, the first, second, or third receiver on the team, then that'll be pretty awesome to see. So yeah, very happy and excited he, changed his mind and made the correct decision to come back home and play for the USC Trojans. And then that 5-star quarterback Ryder Lyons has a new prediction to pick USC once again, so hopefully that is the case pretty soon. And then a top 10 overall player and 5-star offensive tackle, Kelvin Obbett, who's 6'5", 270, released a final top 5, and USC is in there. And I think even some predictions were out there for him to choose USC too. So if that's the case, and that's going to be pretty good and bump up the ranking, especially both of these 5-star players, to select them. Because as of right now, according to the Big 3 on 3 team recruiting rankings, USC is number 1 in the Big 10, which is great to see, above Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State. But yeah, just hoping they can solidify that with a couple more top guys. And yeah, I'm sure most likely on 3 will, de-rank those guys, push them down to make them not close to the top anymore, make them move down a couple spots to mess with USC's ranking, as they always seem to do with any of their new guys that select them. But either way, I still think they're getting the correct guys this offseason. And then a couple players who are still coming on official visits. There is a 3-star athlete in Kaui Akana. I haven't heard it said yet, but hopefully I got somewhat correct. He has a June 6th official visit. And there's a 4-star player in Dylan Berryman. I believe he is an interior defensive lineman, and it looks like he's releasing like a top 6 or 7, and USC made that list, so we'll see where he goes. And then Jamar Owens, who is a 3-star defensive back in the 2026 class, released a top 8, and USC made it in there, so that was pretty cool to see. And then USC is emerging for 4-star wide receiver Luke Weaver after a recent offer, and he said that the USC offer means a lot, especially since he is a hometown kid. So I don't know, maybe they're pivoting from some of those other out-of-state receivers and going after one of those top 4-star local guys. So if they're able to get him and he's a consolation prize, it's pretty good 4-star player to be a consolation prize. So I would be happy either way. And House of Victory had a couple signings. They signed the returning cornerback to Carlos Nicholson and the new transfer cornerback Kevin Longstreet. So yeah, that's pretty cool for them. And then USC freshman safety Jarvis Boatwright Jr. entered the transfer portal the other day, and also their kicker Tyler Robas entered the transfer portal a little bit ago too. So I'm not surprised. I think it was this last Friday was like the deadline to put your name into the portal. I'm sure if guys made their intentions known, it would be in there, and maybe it comes out late that a couple more guys from USC entered the portal. I think in order to sign through, I think they still have quite a bit amount of time in order to choose their next school, which says you had to get your name into the portal by this last Friday. So I guess we'll find out if any more guys matriculate into that list, and hopefully it's not that much. It didn't seem like there was many players leaving the roster as of right now, but I say that now, and then all of a sudden I'll be talking about it in the next USC update video that all these guys left, which I'm hoping is not the case. So thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Fight on.